Do you feel constant anxiety, as if something bad is always about to happen? That tightness in your chest, racing thoughts, constant restlessness? I understand what you're going through. The truth is, your anxiety isn't a weakness or a failure. It's a natural response from your brain, a survival alarm that goes off at any sign of danger, even if that danger isn't real. In this video, you'll understand why you feel this persistent anxiety and learn practical techniques to reduce it. Get ready to uncover what's really happening in your mind and how to take the first steps toward relieving this sensation. Let's get straight to the point. The reason you feel this constant anxiety is because your brain is programmed that way. Long ago, our ancestors faced real threats, predators, and extreme living conditions. In these situations, anxiety was a vital response to keep everyone alert and ready to react. Today, you live in a modern world where the threats are very different. Work pressure, social media comparisons, deadlines, and expectations. However, your brain still responds to these situations as if they were real threats. In other words, your brain can't tell the difference between a predator and a tight deadline. And that's why you feel this constant anxiety. Beyond that, let's take a quick look at what anxiety actually does to your body. When your brain senses a threat, it releases cortisol, the hormone responsible for the stress response. This hormone triggers physical reactions in your body. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense up, and your mind goes into overdrive. While this response is meant to prepare you to face a threat, in modern life, it ends up causing wear and tear on your physical and mental health over time. This is why chronic anxiety can lead to issues like headaches, fatigue, and even difficulties focusing or making decisions. On top of that, the fast-paced nature of modern life fuels your anxiety. Think about it. You're constantly bombarded by information and expectations. You see other people's accomplishments on social media, face deadlines and pressure at work, and are continually reminded of what you need to do or achieve. All of this is interpreted by your brain as a series of dangers that keep you on alert all the time. This constant state of alertness drains your energy and creates a sense of fatigue and tension. It's no wonder you feel anxious so often. Your brain is trying to process an overload of stimuli, reacting to each one as if it were a serious threat. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, take a moment to do it now so you don't miss out on more content like this. Now that you understand the source of your anxiety, let's talk about how to manage it practically. The first strategy is to reframe your thoughts. This process begins with a simple question you can ask yourself whenever you feel anxiety starting to build. For instance, when you start to feel that something might go wrong at work, ask yourself, is this really a threat or just an exaggerated thought? By asking this question, you activate the logical part of your brain, which helps balance the emotional reaction. Let's imagine a practical situation. You receive a work email after hours, and your first reaction is a surge of anxiety. In that moment, instead of immediately assuming something is wrong, take a deep breath and ask yourself, does this really need a response right now, or can I handle it later? By questioning and reframing the thought, you reduce the intensity of the brain's alarm response, which starts to realize that it's not facing a real threat. A common example of how reframing thoughts can help is in situations of judgment or criticism. Suppose you received negative feedback at work or are facing criticism. Instead of thinking, this means I'm not good enough, reframe it to something more neutral and objective, like, this feedback is an opportunity to improve. It doesn't define who I am. This shift in perspective helps your brain interpret the situation in a safer way, reducing the sense of threat and, consequently, the anxiety. This practice of reframing may seem simple, but applying it daily helps reprogram your brain to avoid thought cycles that fuel anxiety. The second technique is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is essentially the act of being fully present in the moment, and this practice has the power to reduce your anxiety. Here's how it works. By focusing on the present, you deactivate the brain's alert system, showing it that there's no need to worry about the past or future. Let's try a practical exercise. When you feel anxious, stop and take a deep breath. Pay attention to the air entering and leaving your lungs. This may seem too simple, but by doing this, you send a signal to your brain that you're safe and that there's no real threat at the moment. This process is proven by studies. When you focus on the present, your brain reduces the production of cortisol, the stress hormone, which helps reduce the feeling of anxiety. If you've made it this far, please give this video a like. It really helps YouTube keep sharing my content so I can continue spreading this important message to you and others who want to learn about emotions. Imagine a situation where you're in an important meeting or a social event that makes you anxious. Instead of getting lost in thoughts about how things might go wrong, focus on something concrete. It could be your breathing, the sensation of your body on the chair, or even the ambient sound. By doing this, you train your brain to exit alert mode, showing that you're safe. This simple exercise has a real impact on your stress response and helps bring anxiety down to a more manageable level. As a long-term practice, mindfulness can also be expanded beyond moments of anxiety. For example, setting aside 5 minutes every day for mindful breathing or reflection can train your brain to maintain a more relaxed state overall. You might also try journaling as a way to stay present and release anxious thoughts. These small, daily habits can create a lasting shift in how your brain handles stress and pressure over time. The third strategy to reduce anxiety is to set realistic goals. Anxiety is often fueled by unrealistic expectations you place on yourself. When you try to tackle everything at once, your brain becomes overwhelmed, interpreting this as an imminent threat. The solution is simple but powerful. Set smaller, achievable goals that don't overwhelm you. A practical example would be setting 3 main tasks for the day rather than trying to do everything at once. Each time you accomplish a goal, your brain experiences a sense of satisfaction, which eases the pressure and reduces anxiety. This process of breaking larger tasks into smaller steps helps your brain manage stress better and makes you less anxious. Let's put this into practice. Suppose you have a week full of commitments and it feels impossible to keep up with everything. Instead of trying to solve it all at once, make a list and prioritize 3 tasks that are truly essential. Each time you complete a task, your brain feels rewarded and less overwhelmed. This process of small achievements helps build a sense of control and reduces the pressure on you. The result is that your anxiety decreases, as your brain doesn't feel overloaded with a massive amount of responsibilities. Anxiety doesn't have to control your life. Now you know it's just a response from your brain trying to protect you, but one that often creates an unnecessary alarm. By reframing thoughts, practicing mindfulness, and setting realistic goals, you begin to retrain your brain to react in a more balanced way. And if you're looking to make more long-term changes, remember that activities like regular physical exercise and connecting with supportive people also play a big role in managing anxiety. Small, consistent changes can lead to powerful results over time. Now I want to know, which of these strategies do you think will help you the most? Leave a comment below, as your experience might inspire others going through the same. And if you want more tips on understanding and controlling emotions, subscribe to the channel to receive more content like this. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.